Good morning. So this is a practice you can do every single morning when you get up. As you can see, this is what I wore to bed last night, and the angle is really far away, so you can't see that I'm not wearing any makeup. And my hair is just, I got bedhead, but you know what? That's what morning yoga is all about. So this is just a little bit of a practice. You could just literally wear your pajamas, and it's just a good chance for you to just open up the joints a little bit and just feel areas in your body that might feel a little bit sticky. I know for a fact, since I'm 50 years old, my body doesn't move the way that it used to when I was 20, but that's okay. This is for everybody. This is a practice that everyone can do. And if you also notice, if you are a regular yoga practitioner, that this is a very basic sequence, and most vinyasa practices are based on part of this sequence. So first thing you want to do is you want to get to the front of your mat or your workspace. So I don't have a mat down here. I was going to do this at the beach, but I couldn't get to the beach in time. So what you want to do is just kind of get a feel for how your feet feel this morning. I would also suggest you do this barefoot, but this ground is rather dirty. And then you just want to raise your arms up in the sky and just get a feel here, because this might be enough for you for today. Raise your arms to the sky and think about just trying to get a nice even spine. And just feel how like the left side of your body and the right side of your body feels. And then maybe you can just arch back just a little bit, tucking your tail so you're not going too much into your lower back. And then sweep your arms down. And then come into a nice forward fold. So this is going to feel probably good for you, maybe bad for you, but just feel how your body feels right here. And then I like to bend my knees one way or the other. And so what this does is allows for you to feel any tension in your IT band, especially if you're an athlete. So lots of times in a vinyasa practice, we don't spend enough time in these poses to really feel the benefit. So that's why I'm a big advocate of slow yoga. There's certainly a time where practicing a true vinyasa, which moves on the breath, is beneficial for you. So from here, just kind of raise your torso up a little bit, find a neutral spine, and then roll your shoulders back and see if you can press into your thighs. Bend your knees slightly and just feel what this feels like, and maybe kind of rock your hips back and forth. This is not twerking, by the way. And then place your hands back down onto your shins or on the ground. You decide what feels good for you. You might even want to stay here if you aren't bending all the way. Again, this is morning time, so you're not really bendy. I mean, if you are really bendy this early in the morning, then kudos to you. It's not me. So then place your hands onto the floor, the mat, and then step a left knee back, left leg back, and put your knee onto your mat, okay? And just feel what this feels like. And maybe you can untuck your toes. And then press, if you're untucking your toes, press the top of your foot into the mat. This is your left foot. And then see if you can kind of straighten your left knee so it's kind of in line with your toes, both this way and this way, laterally. Okay? And then from here, just a little easy twist. And I'm looking at the moon. And then you come back down. And then if your toes are untucked, you want to untuck your toes. And then I like to come into a little bit of a child's pose from here. And then just waking up the shoulders a little bit. And then you tuck your toes again if they're not tucked, and then come into just an easy downward dog. So downward dog actually is a pretty advanced posture. My downward dog has never seen my heels onto the mat unless I'm doing this. So, and then anytime you're in downward dog, you want to press your palms, your knuckles into the mat or into your floor, and it's a little bit of an internal rotation with your wrist and your elbows, but then an external rotation in your shoulders. So your shoulders roll out, but then you're internally rotating from your elbows and your wrist. So that way you're not putting too much pressure on the outside of your wrists. And then your tailbone goes to the sky. And best as possible, you want to get a nice little stretch in your Achilles tendon so that your tailbone reaches for the sky. It doesn't matter if it does or not. Doesn't matter. We're not competing over whose butt is highest. And then your knees, they're going to be soft because, again, it's early. And then we're leading with our left foot. Oh. Then step your left foot forward, your right knee down. So this might feel icky for you. And your right knee is going to be on the ground, and you want to come up and just feel what this feels like. And what I like to do is I actually like to get a little bit of a hamstring stretch, a quadricep and a psoas stretch here. And although we didn't do that on the other side, you can do that on your own. And then press into the top of your foot if you've untucked your toes. And then you're actually stamping with the big toe of your left leg, because we're going to do this standing in a second. And place your right palm onto the mat. Oh, there's the sunrise. And then do a nice twist here. So sometimes we open our leg up like this, and this is like a lizard pose. And if that feels good for you, then by all means do it. But again, this is not this is something you want to do every day. So you decide which day you want to maybe open up your leg like this to a lizard pose. That's not today for me. And then you want to tuck your toes and then come into your forward fold. All right. And then just get a feel for how your body feels now. So the next time we're going to start with our right foot. Let's do a little inhale and try to get your back flat, or your back neutral actually. Get a little bit of an extension in your spine. So when you place your hands onto your thighs, you're pushing your thighs, your hips back, and then you're also extending your neck. And see if you can get a little bit of extension. And then just get a little forward fold here. And then knees bent or straight. You just slowly come on up. And then feel another overhead stretch here. And then come on back if it feels good. My sternum cracks in the morning. And that feels really, really good. It didn't crack this morning. Then you come into your forward fold again. Again, knees are soft. A little hamstring stretch here. So then you can bend each knee side to side. You can do this quickly or slowly. I prefer slowly. Again, we're starting with our right leg, so inhale, and then see if you can get a little bit of expansion in your spine here, and then place your palms down, and then step back. So we're going to keep our toes tucked, so your heel's onto your mat. I'm sorry, your heel is not onto the mat yet. So this is sort of like a runner's lunge. As you can see, you look like a runner just about to start. And then bend your knee so it's almost to the mat. Almost. All right. And then we're going to come up. So what I like to do is just place my hands on my knees first. And then you come up. So, and then square your hips best as possible. You're pressing with the toes away, the back foot, and then stamping with the left big toe. And then your hand on the thigh, right arm reaches overhead. And just feel the side body stretch here. So the left hip and the left knee are in one line, one solid line. This is all one solid line. And then you can straighten the back knee if you want, or you can keep it slightly bent. Mine is slightly bent. And now let's take the right arm and sweep it behind you. And then twist the back foot so the heel reaches the mat. It's like a warrior two. I mean, this is warrior two, but we're not going to be here for too long. And then check to see if your knee is in line with the foot. You should be able to see your big toe. And then left palm to the sky, right palm on the thigh. Reach behind you. And then you feel the left side body stretch. And then come back up to warrior two. Left elbow to left knee. And then let's just feel the right body stretch here. And it's probably too early for you to go into any sort of bind. So you can save that for later. But right now we're just kind of waking up the body. So the blade of the outer right foot is pressing down. And then come onto the back toes. Place the right palm, left palm. Again, you can do this little lizard stretch here, and this feels really, really good if your psoas are tight. Psoas is actually a series of muscles. And then step back into plank. And then this is a little bit of a heat pose. So it's an upward push up. Your tailbone is still tucked, so you should feel a little bit of core engagement here. And then rather than going into chaturanga, we're gonna just untuck the toes, come into an upward facing dog. So you can do the straight cobra, which is down on the mat, and then coming up, rolling the shoulders back. But sometimes if you go right from plank into an upward facing dog, this might feel good too. Anytime you're in an upward facing dog, you want to roll your shoulders back. So shoulders back, away from your ears. And then come on into your quick downward facing dog. Just a quick transition. So inner thighs are kind of reaching back, so that way it gets a little bit of space in your lower back. So your thighs are actually spinning inwards. You're still reaching your tailbone to the sky. As you can see, my knees are still bent. And then step the right foot forward. Okay, so this is your runner's lunge again. And again, bend your knee. Grip with the toes of your back foot. This is a little slippery here. And then to help you get up, place your hands onto your thigh. Come into your lunge. So I like to get a little bit of a quad stretch here. So think about your torso is upright rather than forward. So your torso is upright. Try to get a 90-degree angle here. And then the back toes, I mean your leg, your thigh might be on fire right about now. And then raise the left arm up to the sky and see what kind of a side stretch you can get. So this is a tight side on the left side. And you'll feel all the muscles in the front of your left hip. Really get a nice stretch. And then left heel down, open up into a Warrior Two. You can open up this stance if you want. Now I'm looking at the sun, beating right into my face. It's fine. It's still early. So the Warrior Two. Strong pose, good standing pose. And then flip the right palm, left palm onto the back of the thigh. And reach. And then get the side body stretch. Think about all the muscles in the side body, all the tendons, the fascia. Getting a little bit of stretch. Just getting a little bit of energy, a little bit of blood there. And then right elbow, right knee, open up, arm side. And again, with any of these postures, you can stay as long as you like. Come onto the back toes. Just one little feel here. And then step the left leg. One last Nice forward fold. You come onto your toes. Just feel the calves and the feet kind of getting a little bit of energy here. And then sweep your arms up in the air, and these are bent still probably. One last stretch, open your sky. There's my sternum pumping. And so that's it. So this is something you can do every morning. You can do a little slower, a little quicker, but this is just your one of 3 sun salutations, I guess. And just feel your body through all the different movements, all the different poses, and notice from one day to the next how maybe one day your right side is tight, one day your left side is tight. But it's just a matter of just feeling yourself through each of the poses, and even in the transitions, and feel, you know, what do I need to work on? And then from there, decide, okay, well, maybe I need to hang out in this pose for a little bit longer so I can really get some energy, get some blood into those places that might be holding on to excess stress. So hope this is helpful for you. Namaste.